Oh, yes. Pale blood. Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Hey guys, Nak is back and welcome to my Bloodborne review. I'm sorry for not uploading anything this week, but Bloodborne has taken over my life and I've been playing it for 7 days straight now, so I think it's a good time to share my opinion. So Bloodborne is brought to us by From Software, who also brought us such games as Dark Souls and Demon Souls. I'll have to admit that I never really got into one of those games, so this is the first From Software game I really checked out. And now I just regret skipping their games in the past, so I'll probably check them out once I'm done with this game, but just keep it in mind. It's also a PS4 exclusive for now, which I really don't like, because it's such a fun game that I think everyone should have the chance to play it. But anyway, if I had to describe it, I would probably call it a high-skill hack-and-slash game, with a creepy but very mysterious and intriguing atmosphere. I, for one, am a big fan of the game, but I know for a fact that it's not for everyone. This game, just like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, is known for its level of difficulty. A lot of this has to do with the fact that you can really get more skilled in this game, and no, not just by upgrading stats, but really get better. This will be very obvious at first, because before I knew what I was doing, I already died 2 or 3 times in like the first 5 minutes, and after a day I was exploring areas and finding secrets. I also know that some people will not like this, because of a lack of time, frustrations of getting killed, or whatever other reason they have not to play a game that really punishes you. It's a very high risk-reward game. You can put your life on the line to get something great, or you can try not to do that and take it slow, but then it takes a lot more time. I'll also have to add here that it's not impossible to play this game if you think you don't have any skill or experience with the Dark Souls franchise, or Demon Souls for that matter. This is the first game I played from these guys, and although I played a ton of hack and slash games, I think everyone could potentially play it. Especially later on, when you can wreck bosses with 3 people together. This challenging aspect is what made me buy the game. It has been quite a while ago that I played a really challenging game, and I'm happy because it's really not easy, but it's still doable in a couple of different ways. This may scare off the average casual gamer, but so many people share their secrets and make guides that you can basically look up what to do when you get stuck. So yeah, as mentioned, you can play with more than one person. It is by far a more enjoyable experience solo, but it's great to summon friends if you get stuck or can't get past a boss. And I for one had a blast playing with my fellow Bloodborners, sharing secrets and helping each other out. Again, I also have to add something here, and that is that the matchmaking or join process can take quite a while, and at first it's a pain in the ass if I can be honest. I always really like the atmosphere, where it's so creepy that it's more intriguing than terrifying, and this game does exactly that. Not only with the way the levels look, but the enemies are so well done that some games should be ashamed when you see the diversity this game has. And the best part about that is every enemy is always dangerous. Even the smallest trash mob on the first level will 2 or 3 hit my level 40 character, so you always have to approach everything very carefully, and I never really had this feeling except in survival MMOs, so it's kinda weird. I also like that you have the freedom to explore and do as you wish without any instructions or objectives. This makes the game even more mysterious, and you can find cool stuff like different weapons, attire or keys and other useful items. There's also a leveling system that's pretty straightforward, and all of these RPG aspects make the game even more enjoyable, because this means you can make your own challenges, like finishing the game without leveling up and stuff like that. Another thing they did an amazing job on, in my opinion, is the level design. Everything seems to be interconnected, and I even found a passageway between the beginning of the first level and the end of the second level, if we can even call it levels. And this all makes it so that even though there are no checkpoints, there are a lot of doors that you can reach from the other side, and this acts as level progression, which is very original and had me impressed. Now, like always, to summarize the goods. It's an amazing world with a great atmosphere, incredible level and enemy design and a high difficulty. There's a bit of grinding, but for once I see it as a good thing, because you won't need to farm for hours and you can find your own little farming routes. There's also a fast-paced combat system where you can't just rush in like most hack and slash games, and last but not least, you can discover so many weird scenarios and items that you probably will never know how you got it exactly. And of course, the bad. The graphics aren't as good as I expected, but once you get into the game you forget about that. The loading times are pretty long too, probably because the whole world is interconnected, but when starting out and dying a lot, this is not really enjoyable. And last but not least, frame drops and weird lag when playing with other players, but I never actually got killed or anything because of it, but it's just weird because sometimes I'm around 15 FPS for a second or 3. I also feel like after finishing the game 2 times that it takes way too long to connect 2 people, in co-op and in PvP, which is kind of a waste because I made one character especially for PvP, and I'm not really planning on playing it now that I see how much time it takes to find a good match. This is a bummer because the dungeons are very challenging, but it isn't like the story for the first time, so fast working PvP would have made the endgame so much better, and I hope they improve it. So I would honestly advise this game to anyone with a PS4, because in my opinion it's a real gem in today's gaming market, and it's one of the few games that I've paid full launch price and I still don't regret it. Although I still think $60 is way too much to ask for a game, but that's a whole other story. And there is only one group of people I wouldn't advise it to, and that's the people who really enjoyed Dark Souls 1. I saw a couple of them complaining about no choice in builds, no magic, other boss behavior and other stuff like that. So if you played Dark Souls 1, I would highly advise watching some gameplay and other stuff like that first, just to be sure. And today, to finish my little review, I have something great for you guys, namely a code for a free Bloodborne theme, and you can find those in the description. Just be sure to take the code corresponding to your region, and I only have codes for those regions, so if you're not included, I'm really sorry. Also, on a side note, be sure to put the text shadow to black if you use the theme, so that you can still read your text. But anyway guys, that's it for today. I'll be uploading some new Star Citizen gameplay in the days to come, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and as always guys, I'll see you next time.